Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance.
Hello everybody, welcome to Longbangers in association with Leaf Spirits. I'm Mike.
Hi, I'm Colin.
I'm John.
How are you doing this evening, gentlemen?
Right.
Or Colin and John, but you know.
I was looking about for the gentleman. Good. It's been a productive day. And I was making my infamous homemade lasagna earlier as well. But I was on the white cheeses this time, Colin, the mozzarella and the Parmigiano.
Very nice.
Was it good, John, when you were around to eat it?
Aye, I'd recommend it. But
good.
Some of it's gone in the freezer and I've got a wee bit left over for lunch. So
right, okay. Colin, how are you?
I'm all right, hi. I've been actually reading a load of Hibs.net and Twitter. I was obviously I was out again the day my daughter was playing, but other than that, I've been reading Hibs.net and Twitter to gauge the fury. It's always good for business, eh?
Aye, not half. What do you make of the reaction? I suppose we might as well kick off there. We'll talk about the game briefly, and we've got I think just about 100 talking points, which we're never going to get through all of them. So thank you for setting them in. We're going to spend as much time as possible covering the talking points that have come through tonight. So we'll just briefly touch on the game. But Colin, what did you make of the reaction on Hibs? I've been on it a fair bit as well.
It's just how quickly it turns as my automatic reaction. I was in with Greg at Whiskey Bowl yesterday. I was in hospitality, so I was in the Albion after the game, and there was a couple of boys speaking to us, and it started there, and then I seen it on Hibs.net, and it's like, he's going to win this, he's going to win that, or the manager's going, and you think, fucking hell, we done the preview show on Friday, and we were really positive about the performance. We beat St Johnstone, we done well at Rangers, we could see what's happening, you know, the squad's better than it was before the window, and then one loss, and it just goes sort of fuck again, and we got chatting about it, and I messaged you two, when was the last time we won 3 games in a row? And that was Greg, because he had said, that's the breathing space almost you need to allow a loss. But we never get 3 wins in a row, so that you've never got any breathing space. As soon as you lose a game again, you're up against that. And it is, we rarely win 3 games in a row. And I'm watching, Motherwell's got something like 6 wins out of 7 this season in the league. And it was only Rangers that lost to narrowly at Hampden. Aberdeen's won 7 out of 7, or 13 or something they're claiming, but 7 in the league.
Yeah.
And we can't fucking string 2 together, or 1, like even 1. Like we get 1 and then we fucking lose again. It's I don't know. And then that's what gives you time, and we just never get time because we can't string anything together. And this is here. Sorry, John, I think you'll get something there, but this was where we're coming into a game 8 or 9 in a row with no Rangers and Celtic, get some points on the board. First hurdle, fucking rattled into it. But
John, what were you going to come in with it? You look like you're about to speak.
I was actually clear on my throat, but I was going to ask a question about Stuart Kettlewell, because there was a point that someone made to us recently that Kettlewell, I can't remember if it was 9 games or 19 games they had.
It was in the teams. Aye. Yeah.
I think it was 19. And you could look at it just now and say, well, they've turned it around. Like they've now, like you say, they've had, was it 6 wins out of 7?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm really reluctant to go down the managers just need a wee bit more time route, but clearly Motherwell gave them a little bit of time, rode out the rough stuff, and you could argue that they're seeing the benefit for it now.
Yeah,
it's a really interesting one. I think yesterday was the most scunnered I've been coming away for the football for ages. Like I don't know why, like it hit quite as hard as it did, but I think, Paul, it speaks to what you were saying there about the, like here we've got a wee run of games coming up, and we could you know, put a bit of form, or get a bit of form, bit of momentum, make a wee charge up the table, and then we lose. And then if you think back to, right, we lost to St Mirren first game of the season, then we had 2 games against Celtic, which we all wrote off, and we were like, fair enough, we're not expected to win them. But the next game was Dundee, and you thought, right, that's it, we'll kickstart our season. And then we came out like it, and we drew the game. And you're like, oh, sorry, it's Kilmarnock next week. Like, we'll go there and maybe get something at Kilmarnock. They're shite now. They just played in Europe. They'll be tired. And we go there and we get away a penalty in the last minute, or whatever it was, and draw that game, and then you go, right, well, St Johnstone, we beat them, Rangers, we played well, and you start to get like that wee bit of optimism, and you're thinking, right, 3 games unbeaten with the 2 draws, Dundee and Kelly and St Johnstone, right, that's the start of the run, perhaps. Rangers gets in the way, and then you think, like, Motherwell are doing well, but you're still looking at that one as one that you should win your home game, especially if you want to finish 3rd or 4th. And I think 3rd's gone already. Like, I don't think there's any chance of us getting 3rd, and I don't think there's really any chance of us getting 4th now. And we're in October. It's fucking mental. But it was that sense again where you're going, how does this no matter? Like, it feels. How do I articulate this? See, when Motherwell got their chances yesterday, they took them. Like, the second half, they didn't have loads of chances in the game. They scored 2 and they had 1 offside. And their keeper pulled it a save when it mattered as well, when Catton's gone through. Boys cleared one off the line in the first half. We're on the other hand, like, we've gone last week to Ibrox and missed a penalty because he's done a stupid run up to it. Like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, we're just, it's only the Rangers or the Rangers.
It's not the stupid run up that cost the penalty. It's the fucking no putting it the other way when they go dives.
Yeah,
right.
Aye, which is the point of the stupid run up. But we didn't capitalise on it anyway. An opportunity like that, but we didn't take it. If we miss penalties, I'm no like down on the boy for missing the penalty, but we didn't capitalise on it. We're 1-on-1 with the keeper yesterday at 0-0. We didn't take advantage of it. We do get back into it 1 each, and then we get set off for a stupid red card. The game goes, and then you're like, that's another one off. Next week we're away to Dundee United. That's not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination. And then we're in the derby, and we could be, we've been doom and gloom about it, but you could get to the end of October and we're like, the season's done. We're then scrabbling for, at best, the top 6 position. And it just, as they're just like kind of get up these games passing us by. That's how I felt about it. So I wasn't surprised to see the reaction. I'm not on board with the calls for the manager to go or anything like that. Like, I think there's too much work being done or has been started that you need to see evolve and come to fruition to be talking about sacking folk now. But in fact, there's no but there. Like, I'm not on board with it. But I can understand why folk are getting frustrated with it. Let's quickly touch on the lineups then. So, same team as started against Rangers. John, were you comfortable with that?
Yeah,
I was a wee bit surprised by it, to be honest, because I think there was an opportunity there to be more attacking, basically, and one up front on its own kind of feels a little bit not quite defensive, but you can see obviously that there was additional bodies in midfield. And I know that the criticism previously towards like previous managers has been giving up the midfield and we've lost the midfield battle. Well, it kind of looks like we're now trying to make sure that doesn't happen by having additional bodies in the midfield. But then, and I did think, and I got the impression of maybe in the second half that there was maybe a little bit of an emphasis to try and change it to go and try and win the game. But then Champions got sent off.
I really
and that
like
kind of undid everything.
Notes.
There's a bit of background noise. Is it about to tell you?
No, me.
No.
It's the way.
Near folk talking in.
Anyway, we'll see. Apologies for that, folks. What about you, Colin? It was a good performance last week at Ibrox. So can you understand the logic in keeping the same team?
Well, no. Now we done the prediction on the Friday, and I think we said, we all got 10. I think we all got 10, 11, right? You might have got 11 because you had Miller in your team.
I did.
So
I played Molotnikov.
You had Molotnikov instead of Campbell. Aye. So I had 10. John had 10, but we both never had Miller in the team. So I wasn't surprised with the players that played really, other than Miller. But I was surprised that we never went more attacking with it, because it did feel a bit more. Well, it was the same as last week, and we said we would change he says he would change it depending on how the style of play or whatever would look at the opponents. So what we're saying is Rangers will be the same as Motherwell at home, because we never changed that.
Aye, it doesn't make much sense, does it? John, in terms of the game, what were your overall thoughts on it?
I thought that the game was. I thought it was quite an interesting game to watch because despite Motherwell being higher up the league and having better form than us, I thought that they were more cautious in their approach. I thought they spent a lot of their time, certainly first half, playing in their own half, and it seemed like Hibs had more of the possession and were making more of their opportunities on the ball. Second half, I think my outlook maybe changed because Motherwell went and scored with, I think, pretty much their first opportunity. I don't remember many clear opportunities in the first half. I remember making a joke about Bursick having made a save, but I think it was like a wee bit of a crumbler, so he wasn't really like properly tested. And then, second half, I think, what's his name? But he's in front of me. Stamatolopoulos. He's made a really good run. And I actually thought initially that it was O'Hara had made a mistake, similar to the one that cost us the equaliser against Dundee. And then I saw that actually it was Josh Campbell that had lost his man. And then I think the bit that was probably quite good about Hibs at that point was that they got back into the game because previous teams have just folded. And actually, I think the Hibs team at the start of the season against Mirren folded after conceding the first and the second. That was it. But Hibs got back into the game. And I think there was definitely an opportunity for Hibs to have gone on and won it. I can't remember exactly when it was that Cadden was through on goal. I thought Cadden's performance yesterday was decent, and I found him in more attacking positions than I've seen him in previously. But you can see there's a clear difference between him and Martin Boyle. I think Martin Boyle offers a greater goal-scoring threat. And he's I don't know, I forget who it was that plays Cadden in, but he hits it straight at the keeper. Kaharovic plays him in, and Cadden plays it straight at the keeper. And then, like I say, I forget exactly the time when that shot took place and when it was that Trennan's got sent off.
0-0, I think.
Aye, was it 0-0? That would have put us a goal up.
Was it 0-0? Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's a moment that could change the game.
That's what we're saying though. It's like
speaking about moments. Speaking about moments that change the game, Chanis then goes and gets a second silly booking, and they scored, and that was it. Like, I think
the moments say our own doing though, John, right? Because like we've got a right back playing fucking attacking right midfield, and we've left a boy on that's on a booking that's going to be putting daft tackles in. We should have subbed him and we shouldn't have had him playing there. They're moments we've created that we're looking back, well, it could have been different. It's like,
I know. I think
we had done something different, but we didn't.
I've seen the criticism of Trianis, and I think one of the talking points I maybe saw was that a good manager would have subbed Trianis, but Trianis also made a really good challenge. The Motherwell player was offside, but Trianis puts a really good challenge while he's on the booking. It just so happens that he's made a fucking shite one when the ball's in play. There's jeopardy there, if you like. I'm not excusing anything. Like, these are conversations that we've had before. I'm not even trying to be pragmatic about it. I'm just trying to give a description of what.
But they are our fault, though. You know, and the Motherwell manager subbed their number 6 for being on a booking as well. You know, me never. And we got the boy sent off.
Did they sub him because he, like? Do we know that? Is that fact? Is that actual factual?
I mean, we should have said that, like, but I mean, that's what happens, eh? Like we said it last year before we. But was it last year with Johnson with McGuinness? You're watching the game and thinking, they're going to get sent off here. Like, that's why they get subbed. And
the only thing with that though is there's tons of times players get booked and they get subbed off and still see out the game. Like,
certain positions though, you're more risk.
But
that's a big risk position.
I don't know, like Chanis has played on a booking already this season and stayed on, and he's had early bookings in games. Like, he got an early booking at Ibrox. He did get subbed off in that, didn't he? Like, late on, but I think that was for being tired. What did you think of his first booking for the dive? I saw it on Sportscene last night. I thought it was harsh. Like, I don't think it's...
It was harsh to get booked, but I don't think it's a penalty either.
Aye, that's what they say. I don't think it's a penalty, but I think there's enough there that he's not just chucked himself down for nothing.
McGinn's legs getting in his road and he's jumped over it. Rangers or Celtic get that penalty at Easter Road, but I don't think it is a penalty. But I don't think it's a booking. If you know you're on a booking, then why are you doing a fucking stupid tackle like that, you know?
It was idiotic and it kind of cost us the game. Right, I tell you what, let's just get wired into these talking points because we'll probably cover most of the stuff anyway, right? So, first one's Kaiser Soze. He said, as I've said before and I've said it in the past, fuck's sake, man. Mental tactics and subs, but we got what we deserved from that second half. Scalped. Gray needs to find a starting 11 and trust them, or he's fucked.
Can I ask a question in return?
Yeah.
What's the difference between saying it before and saying it in the past? Well, we know both the same.
Yeah.
Aye. Go Kaiser.
And also Kaiser, that's 2 weeks in a row he's picked the same team, so he has picked an 11 and he does trust them. But they've lost 2 games. Aye.
Right. So, well done, Kaiser. They agree with the Tony.
No, I don't disagree. I'm just saying that it's 2 weeks in a row. I'm not saying it's the right 11. I don't pick that's the 11 I picked, but he's picked it 2 weeks in a row. He must trust it.
Aye. You should have just listened to extra time. I mean, you know everybody's fit. We pick players that are injured. I was going to say we could have just saved them a bit of job, but a previous show would have helped them. Ian Tockel said, no creativity from midfield. It's easy to read our game. Get the ball to wingers. Hopefully get a decent cross in. Hope we have someone on the end. Hope we score. Take any of these out and ultimately we don't. Needed a McGowan type player. Never got one. And maybe try 2 up front. So the crosses is an interesting one. So I actually forgot. Kevin, you sort of have a view in the game. Like at half time I was like, we're pretty good, but we're not troubled their goal. And some cases where the keeper's made a point blank save and they've had one off the line. And I was like, well, apart from them,
but it's been fucking shit.
Our XG for the game was only 1 though. Like, and we got the 1.
Aye.
Bang on 1, and Motherwell's was 1.2 or something.
Right. So I didn't feel like we were creating a lot, but you know, I'm quite happy to stand corrected with those two. And we had Cadden's chance as well in the second half. But the amount of crosses that went in to Nibty was unreal. Unreal. Like we hit the first man or right to the keeper or kind of just sailed right across the box. And I don't know if that's like a lack of desire to get into the box for the forwards or the attacking midfielders, which we didn't like. Somebody would get annoyed at how we described it. Like Campbell needs to be getting in the box for Kukovic, but who else is getting in there with them? Are we expecting Kwon and Jantis to get in there as well? Is Cadden meant to be coming in if it's coming in for the left, or Hoyle if it's coming in for the right? Like, I don't know. It seems redundant to just try and find one player in the box, but across like the odds are stacked in Motherwell's favour every time we do that because they've got 3 or 4 bodies in there to clear it.
Two up front's an interesting point, eh? Like it never worked last year. We all fucking hated it in the end. I'm not sure if it's a retro already. Like let's get it back, bring it back.
I was going to make the point in midweek. Aston Villa beat Bayern Munich playing a 4-4-2.
Did they?
Which, that was what Sky put the graphic up as. I think Villa generally play or did I though? Because it's boy Watkins normally plays up on his own, doesn't he? You know, but that is a 4-4-2.
I just watched the games, didn't I? Actually, I was watching that game. Didn't notice. It was too front. I just watch
it. Jeff Ashton says, a tale of 2 keepers. I get the feeling if we had theirs, we wouldn't lose that game. George, the keeper was at fault for any of the goals we conceded.
I think Bullsick. I saw a suggestion earlier that he goes down quite early, and it's something that I've thought myself. It was Ewan Wilson off down the slope and suggested it, and it's something I'd thought. But I'm not a goalkeeper. I've never played in goals. I've never had any goalkeeper coaching, so I don't know if that's
You're too good at football being goals.
Well, I didn't like to boast, but I think that's not the first goal that we've conceded from that sort of range where Bullsick's not got a hand on it. He's not been able to make a save, and I don't know whether that's one of those things where, like a good goalkeeper can make the difference. They can add points on your league placing towards the end of the season. And I don't know whether the criticism, if we say, right, I don't know if we're saying that Bill's like shite, because I feel like we've had a conversation in recent weeks where we said that he's maybe not up to much, but he's also playing number one. Like, he's also been brought in, and he's like David Grace liking him. And I don't know whether we're trying to go down the route of like trying to find new scapegoats. I saw another talking point where it was like the same old faces or whatever within the Hibs team, and I'm thinking, like, who are the same old faces now? Because Bursick's new, Ola's new, like Potato's new, Abita was player of the year last year, Chris Cadden's no long back for injury, all that sort of stuff. Bursick could have done better. I think that's probably as kind as it can be, and I think it's a slippery slope if we start writing off players the way that we've done it before, because I think that's just going to be a race to the bottom of how much we can slag the team, of how much we can pat ourselves in the back and say, see, I've been telling you for fucking ages, he's shite.
Joe, it's funny you mentioned that with the signings. After Ibrox, there was loads of posts about how good the recruitment's been. Right? Because I replied to them, like, talking about, like, on Hibsnet, I'd replied and said it's too early to say, Ken, like, we fell into this trap last season when we went to the January window. We were like, oh, it's fucking brilliant, and we got worse. And we've said that we've been quite consistent. We sort of not getting carried away with the transfers, but it goes both ways. Like, there's folk talking about having a massive clear out again, and kind of like that same old faces. They're just, it's like we're like totally bipolar depending on the result and the reaction. I don't care how you get away from it, and particularly with, I suppose, go back to the point we were making at the start, when it's like that sort of pattern of missing opportunities to put wins on the board in games that we think we should be winning. It sort of stops it becoming knee-jerk, but it does also feel knee-jerk if 1 week you're going, oh, we're brilliant and we competed with Rangers, and the next week we're going, well, everybody's shite and they're not good enough for the club. But it's like there has to be a happy medium
Not the
somewhere.
same people.
I think
It's not the same people saying that, is it? It's like,
No,
it's shite. I'm probably staying quiet when we did good performance, but are noisy when we're not.
Yeah, I think so. So just to try and add to the Bursick thing, or the Bursick question, it was like, I don't, or any player, like, I don't think that any player is as bad as a mistake was suggested there. But like, or to look at it another way, if Bursick or any other player makes a mistake, they get absolutely slaughtered for it. And I think maybe Colin was alluding to it there, where players don't get the necessary praise that they should get when they do something well. So Bursick's also had another save yesterday where he's come out and he's made himself big, and I think he's clawed the ball away maybe with his left arm.
Aye. That was a good save.
You don't hear anything about that. You could make the point. So like we're saying that, or I'm saying that he goes down early, and good goalkeepers will make you points towards the end of the season. But he's also been left exposed there. Like Campbell's, I think, for the first one hasn't tracked his runner. He's given the striker the opportunity to have a crack at goal, and he's found a narrow angle. It's a good finish. And I think, and I don't know whether, like, I think when I talk about these things on Longbangers, I try and give the opposition a little bit of credit rather than just completely downplaying us. Like, just from not from a Hibs supporter's perspective, and I know that this is a Hibs supporter's podcast, but from a football supporter as well, I would say striker's done pretty well there.
Aye. I said to the guys I was sitting beside yesterday, I don't know who to blame the most for that goal. Because you're looking at it and you're going, fucking stupid free kick. Two folk look like they tried to track the runner, never. And then you're looking at, is it the goalie? I think the goalie's like crouched down before and he gets smashed over his head. You know, into the net. That background noise is them, eh? Is it me?
Oh, it might be.
Unbelievable.
I thought it was harsh blaming Bursick. I think the first goal's Campbell's fault for just switching off and losing his man, and maybe let the boy have a free shot inside the box there. They just kind of go running in, and I don't think Bursick could do too much about it. I think the only real question is, like, some of the balls into the box, like the goals that we lost, they seemed rooted to his line. And the second goal, the offside one, and you're not sure if maybe he could be coming out to deal with them, but I suppose that's what the centre halves are there for those ones.
It's interesting you say that as well, because I think probably one of the strongest parts of his game that I think we've seen is coming for the ball, punching the ball, catching the ball.
Agreed. All right, let's move on. Stephen Bell said, for 2 long games like today have happened, play decent, create a good number of chances, but fail to convert them at a cost. Then at the other end, defensively pish and naive and concede 2 goals from about 3 decent chances created by the opposition. We are such a soft touch. How does this keep happening? Or why does this keep happening? Colin?
Well, I don't know. Well, we've changed the defence, so it's not, but that second goal yesterday, the boys just chucked it in like a fucking American football quarterback, and Halliday's standing on his Todd 6 yards out. Like, I couldn't believe it was Halliday. I thought he'd already been subbed. and it was after I went, fucking Halliday scored. Like, that was a couple of minutes after it. But it was like, when you watch it back, you go, looks like O'Hora and maybe Molotnikov could have jumped for it. Never. The goalie could have maybe came for it. Never. And Kwon just let Halliday run in. Half it in. It's like, how many folk can you blame? You'd want the centre halves and the keeper. So I'm saying Molotnikov is one of them. It went over his head. Whether he could have reached that, I don't know. But you'd be expecting a centre half and possibly goalies to be coming. It's not that far out for a goalie. Sometimes you hear daft shouts at football, hey, that's a goalie's ball, and it's fucking
the penalty spot
16 yards out in that, and you're like, no, I don't really want my goalie coming there. But that is only 6 yards. He stroked it in, felt like, so maybe. But the centre half should be dealing with it, I think.
John, the point about having a good number of chances and failing to convert them, it seems like an issue that we've talked about for however long we've been doing this podcast, really. How do you change that at the club? Like, we bring in decent players, like Kukovic isn't a bad striker. We bring in, like, we spend more money than Motherwell spent on their players. Like, Motherwell are taking Halliday at the arse end of his career, like he's nipped in and scored the one chance that he's got. They've taken Tavares off as well, like obviously he had to play yesterday. But it's not just Motherwell, it happens with Dundee, it happens with St Johnstone, it happens with Ross County. Like, players that are near our team, or should they be near our team, manage to do it when it counts, when they play against us. And yeah, when we're playing their teams, it feels like we need 20 chances to score one. How do you change it? Like, what's behind it? How do you change it, do you think, John?
I don't know.
It can't be ability, yeah. Like, it can't be ability.
I'm trying to think of like a different spin on this. Like, so we were talking about win percentages earlier, because I think there was a post that you'd highlighted for Hibs.net where someone had said that in the last 30 games, I think we've won 7 or something like that. And we compared like the last 2 seasons, and I think we said that we had, I think it was 26 wins out of 76 games. And I think, so you look at that and you go, it's shite. And well, of course it's shite, because we've been shite. But we're also stuck in this doom spiral of, it's shite, we're not going to give it an opportunity to improve. So we'll just have we'll just demand a massive clear out, and we'll not be happy, and we'll not get, if we can't string 3 wins together to get credit in the bank, well, that's it. That's the whole thing fucked. Maybe we need to change those parameters a little bit and have slightly less expectations and demanding so much change, because otherwise 5 years from now we'll be having the same conversation.
We're having a mass clear next summer. They've already told us we're having a mass clear though.
So to that point, when I was thinking about some of the talking points and what we might talk about tonight, have we been guilty as well of starting to have a little bit too much hope, desire, expectation with what we think the season might have, when we've already acknowledged ourselves and we've had those conversations that you've got however many players that are out of contract next year, we've got however many loan players, like we know that there's going to be more work to be done. Like, that's been acknowledged by people at the club that it's going to be I don't think anyone would say this season of transition, but it's going to be difficult to get to where they want to be, and that's the sort of the exciting point where they want to. I think from January, people at the club had said that they want to start getting players in on pre-contracts then and start preparing for next season.
I'm not sure I get the point you're making, but I'm not sure I agree with it. I think it's the scale of the rebuild that they're able to do and how they do it is going to be different next season. But they said it was going to be difficult to kind of change the number of players that we wanted to change, but they signed 11 players. Like, so they say that on the one hand, and as we've seen before, quite often we'll say one thing and do something different. But you look at the chat for each of the signings that we made, like when they've come in, and they've not oversold any of the players, but Gaharovic coming in, we knew we could do it in the league, right? But we're all happy with the signing. Good player. Kwon brought in because he had a good spell at St Mirren last season. Comes with a good pedigree. Know he can do it at this level. Chiantis was a priority pick, we're told. To come in, and Chiantis has been good. Like, obviously, he was sent off yesterday, but overall, since he came back, he's been good. They talked about the leadership abilities of having the defenders like Pateta and O'Hora to come in. Hoylett, they talked about the qualities that he brings to the table. None of these guys have been brought in to be, well, we might finish 8th again, like, because we're going to do it next season. These guys were brought in to give us a fighting chance to get in 3rd or 4th this season.
Top 6, maybe.
They were top 6, but I would say top 6 is a minimum. Like, I think that's what they were looking at, like, to bring in players at that level. So I get the point you're making, John. I think it will be a bigger rebuild next summer, and I think we will approach it differently, because I think this squad has been cobbled together a bit to sort of fill gaps, and they've gone for a particular profile. Like, they talked about having British or Scottish football experience. They're all big laddies that have come in as well. Like, but the team's average height must be about 6'1" now, as opposed to like kind of being a bit smaller last season. So physically, we're able to compete. We've got good players in there. It's just not working yet. Colin, the post that you referred to, so I'll read it out because it was good. It was a guy or someone called Greencastle on Hibs.net, and they posted, "Feel free to correct me if any of this information is wrong, but just looked at our recent records. Last 30 league games, 7 wins. Last 23 home games, 8 wins, which is shocking. Like, for record, it's shocking. In this time, we've lost to St Mirren ×2, Livingston, Hearts, Rangers, Celtic ×2, St Johnstone, Aberdeen, well. The last 2 seasons, we played 45 league games, 12 wins, 18 losses, 15 draws. Last time we won 2 in a row league games was 11-11-23 Kelly, 25-11-23 and 3-12-23 Aberdeen. Before that, it's February 2023, where it's St Mirren, Kelly, Livingston. We haven't beaten a current top 6, it was finished top 6 side since February, which was Dundee. And our last win over a supposedly top 4 club was Aberdeen in December 2023 and in September 2023. The last win over Celtic was May 23. Last win over Hearts was April 23. And the last win over Rangers was 2018. And they finished the post to say, "We really are a joke, and today was another missed opportunity to build momentum." I think that it goes back to Stephen Bell, that he's saying that for too long games like today have happened. It speaks to what we were talking about at the start of the show as well. This is not like a new phenomenon with Hibs. This is something that's just now typical of the team. It's depressing, when you see it laid out like that.
Yeah,
but is it? Are we not just saying? But is that post not just reflective of what we've been saying, just in a different way? Like, of course, it sounds shy because we have been shy for 2 years, but we have had the club's had. It's talked about its review. It's had now got the beginnings of a partnership with the Black Knight Group. It's still in its infancy. Correct me if I'm wrong on the word that the club used. Got a new manager. You've now got what's effectively a CEO on the football side and Malky Mackay. Are we in danger of throwing the baby out with the bathwater because we got beat 2-1 to Motherwell? Is the reaction legitimate, or is it just a little bit OTT?
It's what reaction are you talking about? Like, just to reflect on the fact that we continue to be seeing the same things as we saw before all these changes like that. And I agree with you. Like, you need to. We said it before. You need to give these things time to develop. But there is the flip side to that, John. Is just because some take a long time to or take longer to come to fruition, there's still evidence that other teams who have been shit have made a change and have done better on the back of it. Like
Motherwell never made a change. What changes did they make?
well, they did when they brought in Kettlewell. They just stuck with him, but Kettlewell replaced somebody. Do you know what I mean?
Kettlewell replaced?
I can't. Who was in charge of Motherwell?
Was it Alexander or somebody?
Graham Alexander, was it?
I
I think if he was back before.
I'm talking about like, so Motherwell the last 2 seasons, like Motherwell have been better than us the last 2 seasons. What change did they make?
They've been better than all time. Like, and the fucking let's not talk to sell up maybe. That's the thing.
Aberdeen, John. Do you know, like Aberdeen and they've done it. Even like and they go beat again today, but Hearts made a change and they won their first game free in midweek in Europe. Like, but by all accounts, I think they played better today than they had been playing before. But it's not. I'm not advocating the change.
Let's make a change. Let's make a change.
I think no explainer or you're misunderstanding the point that I'm making. I'm not saying we need to make it to make another change, right? And I'm accepting that sometimes the changes take time to bed in, but there are other times where it doesn't need to take as long. Like, you can still expect some immediate improvements, or not quite immediate, because we're now 7 or 8 games, 7 games into the season. So you should be like, it should take us to restructure the club to beat Motherwell. Do you know what I mean? Like, when we go and we spend the money that we spend in the summer.
Collins just said that in the all-time, I think the all-time league standards of Motherwell being better than us. So why do we think that we should be able to go and beat Motherwell? I understand that there's going to be a point about finances, etc. But then that clearly over a number of years, I think it's probably reasonable to assume that Hibs have had greater finances or greater spending power than Motherwell, but we still underperform. So why don't we?
What helps though? Sorry, John, they didn't get relegated. So they've played a lot more games than us, so they've accumulated a lot more points. Because I think when we're in, they've been a lot of seasons where they've not been in the top 6, but they've accumulated the points where we've been in the Championship, right? So you could say, well, that's because we're shite. But they tend not to get. I think they've ever been relegated at the Premier League.
But they've obviously been good enough not to get relegated.
Aye. But
we would be sacking managers in their place at 10th place or 11th place when they're not getting relegated.
The thing is, so that's credit to. So 2 things: it's credit to Motherwell for punching above their weight, as it is bad on us for not punching our weight, which is what we continue to do now, is fail to punch our weight, and I think that's why folk get upset by it. But we got beat by a team that took Jair Tavares, strengthened them, and from us, right? We could have played the guy. Right? We've decided that he's had enough chances. This is like, it is a slight on Jair Tavares. Right?
100% is.
Like, it is, right? I mean, like, I can't dress it up differently, right? But it goes back to, like, when Sir Johnson beat us last season, they've got Jay Wright, and there's players that come to Hibs, didn't make it, go to other teams and then come back and beat us. Motherwell are a team of it. It's reflective of, like, the market that they're in, and that is why I'm saying that it shouldn't take a restructure to beat Motherwell. Like, we should be able to beat Motherwell based on what we've spent.
But we also can't build any continuity either. Like, we can't build any continuity with managers, squads,
But I'm not advocating another change, right? I would say, like,
no, but what is it?
But we're still underperforming. I'm not saying you need to go and change something else again. I'm saying it's, you can criticise for underperforming. It's a valid criticism, but it's also reasonable for us to have the expectation that we still win that game, even though you're like, it's early days and we've just made the change. I'm not saying sack the manager. I'm not saying get rid of Malky Mackay or Ben Kent or Ian Gordon. I'm not suggesting that at all. All I'm saying is we should have done enough in the summer with what we've got to have won that game. To not be sitting 10th in the league after 7 games. To not have 3rd place and 4th place already out of sight for the season when we're at the start of October. But that's the point I'm making. There's something going wrong there, and I think it's all right to criticise it without saying sack the manager or rip it up and start again. I'm not advocating ripping it up and starting again.
Okay.
Right.
Sorry, I want. I don't know. Like I said like a few minutes ago that I try and be pragmatic. I don't want to be seen to be the voice of Hibs on this podcast, or the defensive voice, or in defence of Hibs. Like I genuinely don't know what the answer is. I'm as frustrated as everyone else. I'd love Hibs to have won yesterday, but I'm also, I think, pragmatic enough to say a Hibs midfielder who was having a decent game getting sent off impacted the remaining game where Motherwell went on and scored. And I don't know, like it feels a bit OTT for me.
Okay. Andrew Brown says, far too cautious lineup. Like the last two managers, we stuck with the same team that wasn't right for the opposition today. Colin, I think you could have pretty much
agree with that.
Covered that. You know, when you said, but we're pretty much treating Motherwell at home the same as Rangers away. Kenny Murphy said, negative substitutions. Gale should have been on to partner Kukorevic, not replace him. Yuan should have been on for Cadden after an hour, and McCurdy on ahead of Yuan. Seriously, mindset all wrong. We hope to win that game. There was no serious goal to win it. Colin, that last point about hoping to win as opposed to going out to win it, I think that's fair.
From the start, I don't know. I think the subs were. I did question the subs. I would have put Cadden back to fullback, took Miller off, and then brought Yuan on. But instead we took Cadden off and brought McCurdy on, which seemed strange to me. But it's just Yuan would appear to have the better back catalogue if we're needing a goal. But obviously there's a reason I never brought him on. I wasn't a fan of the subs. I think we all predicted one up front. We did. We all predicted one up front. So I don't think it's unexpected. And I've seen a few shouts for the two. We've already did. That's 2 talking points. I've seen stuff on Hibs.net and Twitter. I think we've done 2 up front. Like, why do we keep going in this fucking blip? We've done it and everybody fucking moaned about it. It was shite. And each change it, and it needs change. 4-4-2's rubbish. It's antiquated, all that. We're not even a year since we're fucking moaning about it.
We're going to 3-5-2.
And maybe that's what folk want. I don't know. Well, it worked for Lennon, so that's probably why.
Alan Duncan said, playing one striker doesn't work. The last few managers have tried it. There's another one for it. We haven't scored goals regular since the Nisbet and Doige partnership under Ross. Additionally, Cadden is hopeless. He's no midfielder and he can't defend. John, you thought Cadden had a decent, was having a decent game?
I said that he found himself in more attacking positions than I'm used to seeing him in. But you saw that, I think I'd said as well that you saw the difference between him and Boyle. Like Cadden, I think Cadden's maybe scored a couple of goals for Hibs. He's not a natural finisher. Like, as much as he was in more advanced positions like Martin Boyle, he's not Martin Boyle.
Interesting. I asked the boy, I was sitting beside a Motherwell fan, and he said, I'd asked him about Cadden, because I've always in here, you know, it's like the Steve Whittaker argument, give him a midfielder. Hanlon used to be a midfielder at Hutchie and that. All that kind of chat. So I'd asked, what did Cadden play as a laddie? And he says he was a right-sided midfielder. And then he shafted Motherwell, or his agent did, whatever, for going to America and that, and coming back on loan to the English team that Motherwell wanted to sell him to get money for. So he was a right winger or right midfielder as a boy, but he moved to right back, and he's kind of made his career at right back since he left Motherwell. Now we're playing him more further up front, and what happened was when he went through 1-1 and the goalie saved that, because the goalie did save it. I think it was on target. The boy said to me, "That's why he's a right back." No, it wasn't being smart or nothing. You know what I mean? It's just
it leads on the next point, which is from Michael Gallagher. He said the lack of finishers cost us today. We're missing Boyle and Bowie badly. And definitely, John, you made the point that you think Boyle would have tucked that away. I think we're showing against St Johnstone. That's the sort of situation that Martin Boyle would lap up. Do we create enough chances to win the games? Like, could Kukorevic get enough chances yesterday to get in amongst the goals, do you think?
I only remember the one for him. I don't think he's honest. Like, let's be honest, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn or contradicting myself here, but when he was here the last time, he didn't score that many goals either. A lot chopped off, but he didn't score a lot, and he's not scored a lot this time. And he had one chance yesterday, and the goalie saved it.
Was that a goal in every 3 games or a goal in every 5 when he was last year?
I don't know. I think he
don't
was
know
that many.
if
He had loads chopped off as well. So he scored a lot of offsides, mind. But
I think like I can understand playing up front. He's not quite a target man, but I don't think he's necessarily like an out and out finisher. Despite his goal against Celtic, as he scored another goal this season, can't remember. But playing him up front on his own, you would expect more from the midfielder. So to Matty's point earlier about or calling you about crossing the box, you'd expect Campbell or another midfielder or midfielders to be getting into the box to support him.
Yeah.
And we're not getting that. That seems to be a weakness. I don't know whether that's because I was going to say they're about like Quan and Chantis, but they're not. They're centre midfielders, and they definitely weren't playing defensively yesterday. Like they were definitely getting forward to support the attack. If they weren't, Chantis wouldn't have found himself booked.
Yeah,
and Quan had saved for the keeper as well.
Quan had saved for the keeper as well. So.
Okay, Bandy Legs, Jake Gapper said Chantis first booking looked. That's what his Twitter name is. I'm not just calling him Bandy Legs. Like I just realised how that might have come across it. Jake Gapper said Chantis first booking looked harsh where I was sitting, but no one who's got a reckless challenge in him. I'd have taken him off at half time. Miller had a stinker after me thinking he played all right last week. Not sold on Gale yet. Looks a touch slow. Hoylett and. As I came out, he's trying to be emoji in there, I'm not sure. Hoylett, somebody only passes. Potato. Hoylett, potato only passes. And also, we keep chucking on strikers to chase the game. Here's a novel idea. Let's start with 2 up front.
Amazing. Let's go 4-4-2 next week.
Or 3-5-2.
Hey, close that chat down.
It's Potato and O'Hara I thought were really comfortable in the game, and then you look at the goals that we conceded. I think we talked about it already, about the centre halves kind of maybe looking to deal with those situations. But
Potato made a couple of great blocks in the first half, like proper centre half stuff that has that kind of centre half, just like head it, kick it style stuff. And but then, you're right. You go, well, how can you get them pass marks when then there's 2 goals like that? Yeah.
I don't know how much it is down to, like, go back to your point, John. You give credit to the opposition. Obviously, Ekpatea and O'Hara will pick up particular players, and neither of them were responsible for Halliday. Quan's got him to pick up.
It's just a throw into the box, though. It's just get a head on it.
I know, but so the ball goes over them, and that's because the players that they're marking take them to the near post.
Yeah.
So there's a reason the ball goes over their head. It is like a bit of naivety for us, but there is also an element of good play for Motherwell in there.
That's the thing, talking about that near post, right? Our crosses, like you mentioned it earlier, crosses going to the near post, not beating the first man in that. We didn't have anybody running into the near post.
No,
but
we didn't.
Continually put fucking crosses to the near post. It's like, we've not got anybody there, so it suggests it's a real shit ball in. Or they've not got the instructions because he's playing it to the near post and I was at the back post. It's like, it looks just totally disjointed for what they're trying to do.
Aye, it was a pretty frustrating feature of the last few games about the crosses that have gone in and no found a Hibs jersey. John, new to this one. Fred Leggett said Malcolm Mackay was appointed in May and was supposed to be the steady hand on the tiller and capable of changing the culture at the club. 4 months later, I don't see any culture change, but we still see the same problems. Is he helping or hindering? Is the question.
You're not
what was the culture?
That's
what I was going to ask as well. What was the culture? What's the culture that we're trying to change it to, and how long is long enough to make that change? Is it instant? Is it 4 months? Because 4 months is, well, we've only been playing football for 2.
Yeah. I think with Malky's job, is it's unrealistic to expect to see any real tangible change for that until probably this time next year. Because the things that a director of football will look at will be structural. It'll be, have we got the recruitment team set up the right way, sports science set up the right way, have we got the right feed for the youth team into the first team, are we signing the right type of players for the first team, have we got the right coaching staff in, all these kind of things are what they do. Malcolm Mackay's role in setting the culture at the club is making sure he brings in the right people to run that, rather than him driving it. David Gray will be responsible for driving the culture in the first team, along with the senior members in the team.
See when he says culture, do you think he's meaning letting soft goals in? Like that? Is that what that means, do you think, rather than culture as in like the behaviours at HTC? Like,
but I suppose it's all of that, though, isn't it? Like they're all interconnected. I think you can separate one for the other. I think if your culture's right at the training ground, that feeds into the match day. I think it's maybe go back to what we're talking about, the no taking advantage of the games that we need to win. That is is that a culture thing? If you,
I think that's culture.
I don't know, but is it like I don't know. Like, I go back to that the first time I really noticed it this season was the Dundee game, where we're off the back of the two Celtic games, and we were all talking about season starts here, and we were shite in that first half. Like, when you needed you expected the team to come flying out the traps, we were awful. Dundee were by far the better team in the first half, and actually we grew into the game, and we finished well. Like, we won the whole game, but that it's like. I always feel, somebody mentioned it earlier on, I think it was Kenny Murphy, about that hoping to win. It's like we kind of go, we play almost in like second gear for the full match. You know, like it's that, but sometimes we look good when we're doing it, and other times we look off it, depending on what gear the opposition are in, I think. So when Motherwell stepped up yesterday, we did the match that, and then Motherwell took control of the game, got a goal. We had to step up to get the equaliser, but then we got the man sent off. Motherwell stepped up again. We couldn't deal with it. I think that sort of one-dimensional pace for the team has been evident for a wee while. And when we need to get up for games, we didn't really look like we're up for them as a result. I think is that culture? Like, is that
I don't know if that's culture or quality, and the skill set in the player. Because if you're talking about like speed of the game, that requires a certain ability for the players, doesn't it? And I think it's quite an interesting question, because I think the way that Hibs play, despite different managers, different players, like several different managers, like a lot of the football is the same. And I don't know whether that's just because football's football. Like that's just how games pan out. Because it can't be like a culture thing at the football club, because if that's been happening, say, for 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, however long, everything has changed at the football club in that time. So there can't be there's no some sort of curse over the stadium that says you're going to play the same football, you're going to be shite, because that doesn't stand up to scrutiny.
Hi. I wish I knew the answer to that, John. Imagine it was a curse. Imagine kind of like you talking.
We said that about the cup. There's a curse not lifted. Is that not a curse not lifted?
Aye,
must be a different curse.
Because we never had the heart from the stadium in, and the heart went from the stadium, and we won
the heart back down. We'll turn around again.
Have it done enough time. Aye. But if you're listening and you're a witch doctor or anything like that, and you're good at lifting curses, do get in touch, and we're happy to try fucking anything at this stage.
Yep.
SG said club has nosedived since Leanne Dempster left, as Kensal is an imposter and needs removing ASAP. Have we nosedived? Is that like a fair observation, right? So it's not just Leanne Dempster's leaving. There's obviously we had like the change in ownership has happened. There's not just the case of Leanne Dempster's gone big, Kensal's come in, and nothing else has changed. We've had other things that impact, like COVID, and all these kind of things have been at play as well. But it does feel like we've nosedived since those days, doesn't it?
On the field, that's the whole thing, isn't it? But that's what we all care about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dempster had to have input into on the field. You know what I mean? That wasn't our job. That was George Craig's job. But Dempster gets the credit for that, whereas Kensal gets the blame for the. It's fucking quite weird. It's because we've not had a football figurehead, I suppose.
When did Leanne Dempster start at Hibs, and when did she leave? I think she had something like 3.5 years in charge.
After relegation.
Aye, when we got relegated, she came in then.
So that was 2014.
And she left just after Ron Gordon took over. No, not long after.
So about 5 years-ish, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
does she get, no disrespect to her, but are you comparing like for like? Because we were relegated, we had a clear out, we had a couple of good seasons in the Championship. Like, I say a couple of good seasons in the Championship, we would have had a better win percentage than we've had more recently, and we had the Scottish Cup, and then we came back up and we had a good season under, or a good couple of months under Lennon.
We finished
before
fourth
he
under
left.
Lennon, didn't we? And
But
that was that what you're talking about.
but that was almost like a wee honeymoon period, like in the Championship for those 3 years, because you were winning reasonably regularly. You were winning more often than you were drawing or losing, unless you want to talk about
The Great
Lennon's
Hunfield stuff
Championship
under
season.
Dempster, we never got to the Championship for 2 seasons. Like, if you want to, you know,
And I think, to Matt's point, like, there's definitely been off the field challenges. Like, club's been bought, the owner sadly passed away, COVID, etc. Like, it's not been plain sailing. And you come round to the admitted failings on the part of the owners and how they're trying to change it. So it's, and again, like, Kensal gets a lot of the blame, but I think there's obviously, like, there's a clear structure at the football club now. You've got your commercial CEO, if you like, Ben Kensal, and you've got your football CEO, that's Marky Mackay. So I think we need to take some of the blame away for Kensal in this instance.
Aye, I think that's there's a lot hinged on Malcolm Mackay now. Like, I've said that for a wee while. Like, it's so important that he succeeds in his job for everybody. Like, because if he gets his job right, he comes off the whole club for everything. Like, they get to go and sell hospitality without folk using it as a stick to beat them with. They could add more big screens if they wanted to, without folks throwing it up as like a terrible thing. Like, if we're successful,
training centre.
Aye, doesn't matter what the commercial side do, as long as they're bringing in the money to support everybody's happy. Is when that side's right and the football side's wrong that folk are upset. So it's all really.
We got away with it. The off-field stuff wasn't that great.
Aye,
But
that's
we
the
finished
point.
fourth in the league and had a good couple of seasons in the Championship. So it's like the golden period based on that. You know what I mean? And you think, but the off-field stuff, shit, nobody really cares about the off-field stuff. But the off-field, you know, you need to get them both working.
Aye.
And we're only getting one working.
Right, we've got time for a couple more before we wrap up. Jez said, very harsh result. Thought we looked very good in the first, let them into it a bit in the second. The red changed it. Feels like we get punished at every mistake. We never seem to get away with one. Didn't think Motherwell were worth a single point, never mind 3. Colin, agree or disagree with Jez?
We do seem to get punished for every single mistake, but we never then capitalise on other teams' mistakes.
John, you look deep in thought there. What are you thinking?
Honestly, I've just seen something pull up outside the front door and there's some lights, but I was also I was wondering who it was, but I was also thinking about Jezzy's question, or Jezzy's point about Motherwell not being worthy, or he didn't think that they were worthy of a point, and that was, I agree with him to a certain extent, and I think I described that towards the start of the episode. But like you say, like we've had a mistake. Motherwell have capitalised on it in terms of like the sending off, etc. But I'm trying to think of other teams, and it's one of those comments I really want to delve into a little bit more. So what's classified as a mistake, and what teams have been making them that we've come up against, so that we can actually dive into it and understand, is that accurate or is that a misconception?
Well,
because these are like the sort of the Hibs things that that seem to haunt us, that didn't seem to affect other football clubs, or we're in that wee Hibs bubble where we think shite things only happen to us, but it happened to other football clubs.
Our goal comes from us capitalising on a mistake yesterday. Kind of defender made an ass with like Hoyle forced them then.
Well, aye, it wasn't like it wasn't a short pass back though. You know what I mean?
No,
people win the ball, which is part of the game. But based on that, though, we were saying they didn't deserve a point. I didn't even deserve a point. I don't know. I'm looking at the XG, and you think, and I know folk ridicule the XG, but it's it's maths, it's science.
Yeah.
And they had better chances than us based on that. As an actual measure, whether you folk didn't believe it, I think it's too woke or whatever, it's an actual fucking measure.
An objective measure.
It was bang on 1.00, which we got 1, and I think they were 1.22 or something like that. So a wee bit better.
Aye, But like that's still like 1 in 5. That's a clear difference. It's like 1.22. It just feels a wee bit.
But they won 2-1. So it's like they had better chances than us, and they took them.
Aye.
Right, Neil Waters. Let's say last two, and I think we might carry some of these over to extra time tomorrow because there's tons that we just not got anywhere near yet. So Neil Waters, ruthless in both boxes is what's missing. Should have been game over by half time. Marking players and defending crosses not good enough on both goals. No impact for the bench. Stupid red card, but fucking harsh. No die for me. Massive few weeks ahead. Need wins quickly. I think Neil's absolutely nailed it with that point. Could have probably saved us quite a lot of talking just with.
That's it. Summed it up. But the last point is the one that you've made at the massive few key weeks coming up. We'll be sitting here next week, well, maybe next week. Maybe next week. Right, hopefully we can get top 6. You know what I mean?
You need to
we'd never ever do it.
Aye, players need to think it's a massive few weeks coming up, and then play like it's a massive few weeks coming up.
I'm minded of, I think it was an opening day game against St Johnstone's where someone had said, "Oh, it's a must-win game today." Like, the fucking season's not even started yet. Like, we have this all the time where every game, every period of games is must-win.
Because we keep going through fucking periods like this. But must-win, it's no must-win. Must-win's the terminology. It's like when you go to Parkhead or that and they say it's a
free hit.
A free hit. It's no must-win. But if we want to do anything, we need to win it. Like, we need to get points on the board so that we're looking up the way rather than down the way. And because we keep stumbling through these games and narrowly losing them, which, by the way, is the difference. I don't know what it is, but again, that Motherwell boy yesterday said before the game, he's like, we're not that great, but what we need to do is focus on the scraping the 2-1 wins rather than a draw, and then they go and win 2-1. You know what I mean? Like, but we never talk about just scraping a 2-1 or anything like that. It's always like, even in the predictions, it's 3-0, 3-1, 4-0, 5-0. You know what I mean? We're never like that realistic that we think this will be a tight game. Hopefully, we can just like take a chance that. Like Motherwell, they were only 1.22 XG, but they got 2 goals. So they've taken a chance that they shouldn't have got based on that. Because we just done what we were expected to do.
What was the XG? Does it break it down per shot on target?
Well, that's how and then it's rolled up into that overall. So every shot's got the expected chance of scoring that. So if you've got a tap in for a yard out, that'll be like 0.99 or something, right? Because you'll score it 99 times out of 100. If you're taking a shot for the byline, it'll be like 0.01. Because it's like 1 in 100 of 1.
So presumably then, Cadden's effort was rated as higher or more likely to score than Hoylett's would have been.
Probably, I don't know.
Because Hoylett's was a more difficult chance.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So it's all rolled up into that overall for the match, but yeah, every single opportunity has a different rating.
Okay, last one, Neil Renton, and I say congratulations to Neil. And to his co-writing partner Mark Fleming on the launch of their book.
Can we refer to Neil in future as published author?
Neil Renton. He said, insanity, doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. Albert Einstein, who of course was Accrington Stanley's manager in the late 1930s. And he's spot on. There was a bit of nonsense yesterday with it, like post-match, to kind of his got caught up in any of that. Motherwell and Hibs fans fighting. I bumped into a guy before the game though, who asked me to mention that what they called like section fucking 6 or something, section 7. No, section E, F.
What?
No, the Motherwell ones. So it was a boy called Ryan. Him and his pal stopped us as we were going into the ground to ask that we kind of call out the fact that the Motherwell ultras were attacking folk before the game. Lone Hibs fans, big brave Motherwell fans out there, they did that. So there you go. I did mention it, and also hello to the guys that we spoke to in Robbie's. I can't mind if we actually took your names or no. Anyway, right, that's us. We will be back with extra time tomorrow night. If you're a subscriber, if you're not already subscribed, go to Patreon and you can sign up there. There is a free trial if you want to try it out. First 7 days absolutely free. And if you want the subscriber content, pick the £3 tier. that's all from us for this week. We will be back on by extra time. I just said that. I could just repeat myself. And if you're not subscribed, we'll have our phone in on Thursday where you'll catch us then. Until then, we'll see you then, and thanks for listening.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee.